Dead in Hip Hop album review. Baby Keem, the Melodic Blue. I'm not sure if you know, but you should because we're in damn September going into October. And me and Ken have been doing DE 365. And we did Baby Keem, Die For My Bitch. What is it?
Yeah, Die For My Bitch.
Die For My Bitch. So go check that out if you don't know. Baby Keem has writing and production credits on Black Panther the album, J-Rock's Redemption, Schoolboy's Crash Talk, and the song Now from Disney's The Lion King. So I think that's pretty damn dope, especially for somebody that is up and coming. And if you didn't know, he is Kendrick Lamar's cousin. You see me, Ken, the Dead and Hip Hop crew, and we got 2 extra people on the review today.
Yep.
So what up?
You already know what it is. It's the Unstoppable Bloodbath. Back at it again. Talk my shit, do my thing. You know what it is.
Yes, sir. Odd Fridays. Make sure you go check that shit out. You know what I'm saying? I know y'all love the Odd Friday recaps. We get like 20,000 views over there. Can we get 2,000 live people this next Odd Friday?
Please. We were trying to hit 2K. Also, if you want to talk 2K, you know what I'm saying? Check out Dead End Gaming, the producer over there on Dead End Gaming. And if you like battle rap, I have a whole nother show called Hold Down Podcast. Also Dead End affiliated.
To Bloodbath's right, we also have somebody else. Jalen, what it do, man? Let the people know how you was involved, man.
Yeah, man, Jalen. I am the podcast editor for Frames Per Second, and is the mic still on? So, you know, if you hear effects, you know, the transitions and things like that, that's your boy, you know, yours truly.
Full house, as you can see. We had to bring some of the youngins in on this one. Baby Keem, what was y'all introduction to him, and how did y'all fuck with this project?
My introduction to Baby Keem was a little while ago. I did see people talking with him like a couple years ago. Cause like Quan, my co-host, Hold Down, he's usually hip to younger artists because he's a producer. So he was like, yeah, this Baby Keem guy, he's kind of blowing up. I was like, all right, that's cool. And he said he's Kendrick's cousin. I was like, all right, now I got to give him a shot. So then I went in, started listening to some of his stuff, and I can clearly say that I wasn't really feeling it. Then when this album came out, it was a whisper review. I was like, all right, I'll give it another shot. And then that's who we are.
Okay. What about you, Jen?
My introduction was the track reviews that y'all were doing. I saw the track reviews, and I didn't really know who he was. But then I started to listen to him, and I went back and listened to the first project. He's been an interesting person to watch. I'm a Kendrick fan, so, I mean, that was a sale for me, obviously.
Easy point of entry.
Yes. Because, I mean, if Kendrick's going to quote... Because it wasn't even that you're not on a song with Kendrick. I was like interested in like, all right, Kendrick hasn't really put a song out there or put you out there, so what does that mean for you? And so since then I've been intrigued to like see where exactly Baby Keem was going to end up.
So my introduction was when we did the DE 365 Die For My Bitch, and I think one of my first takeaways in listening to Baby Keem just in general was like, damn, this motherfucker sound like Kendrick. And not that he was trying to emulate him, it's just tonality, just in how he does certain things. I'm like, damn, bro. Going into the debut album on PG Lane, I was like, okay, let's see how he does it, right? Because, you know, obviously Family Ties has got everybody talking, Kendrick verse, and, you know, I know we'll get into that. But the overall sentiment that I had about this project, I was like, I think it's a good debut. I think it's a good debut for a multitude of reasons. I think that stylistically, he hit a lot of different styles of hip hop that people in his age range are doing, but also with enough content and enough good weird, like how Kendrick does at times. I feel like he has like a very high level of consciousness in his music, even though I don't think he's nowhere near Kendrick. But I think for his age group and what he's doing, I was a little bit surprised. Like, okay, this is really dope. But he did have some things on here that I was just like, I don't know. Like, at least I know it's not for me.
South Africa was not it for me. We're gonna name songs. South Africa was like, nah, I don't think he had me in mind when he made this one. He ain't say to himself, Bloodbath gonna love this. Nah, that's not what he said. Because I heard that and I turned it off every time it came on. I was like, nah, that's not the one.
Yeah, no, I agree with South Africa. Scars. The reason why I brought that one up is very Kanye.
Yeah, the drums.
Big drums.
Sounds like
and that's why I was saying, like, stylistically, he touched a lot of different stuff. And that one, when I heard, I'm like, it don't really fit. It doesn't fit where the album was going, but a dope track nonetheless.
Yeah, I did like that one.
Yeah, I liked it, but it felt like it didn't fit overall. Y'all felt like it fit?
I remember when me and Kim was talking behind the scenes like a week ago. We didn't really go into how we felt about the album, but we said enough. If you would have asked me a week ago about this album, I'd have been like, nah, this ain't it. But listening to it, and now like understanding like a little bit more, because I did a little bit of research on Baby Keem. His influence, I could tell what's going on here. He's 20 years old now. And you can hear the influence. You can hear Kanye on here. Definitely hear Kendrick on here. I even hear Travis Scott on here.
Yep.
Playboy Cardi.
Right, like you can hear all the influences, and I think that's
when
probably...
he did the Playboy Cardi, I was like, man, what the fuck is going on? God damn. I'm like, what the
I
fuck?
thought that was that dude.
Don Toliver?
No, I thought that was that fucking AR.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, man.
For a hot second, I thought it was like, oh God, really? When it just, the album sounds unpolished, but you can see the potential.
100.
Yeah.
You can feel it. Like there's like, and I appreciate it because, man, listening to hip hop, but like new artists and people who keep saying they're gonna be up next, everything just sounds repetitive. You know what I'm saying? Like it just sounds generic. I feel like here he's trying to step outside that box.
I feel like it's 1 foot in, 1 foot out.
Yeah.
You know, 1 foot in.
He out.
You say he's out.
He out.
So you don't think like that song Coco? That's the one that I was referring to. That's just not for me. Like to me, that feels like that's the 1 foot in. That's making the little baby music. That's making all of the popular radio type shit. And then other songs like, you know, even though it's not one of my favorites, but like South Africa feels like that's 1 foot out. That's something I don't know any other rapper that's making a song like that right now.
I could hear South Africa from a couple of artists.
Like,
Because I've listened to like the rap list, and I could hear like certain influences on it. The reason I say that is because like the hook doesn't seem like it's pushing any boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Like it just seems like the beat was easy to just jump on and say something.
Is that the
like,
one with the piano?
Yeah,
That's really dope.
Yeah. I like that piano in that thing.
Speaking of hooks, like on Pink Panties, like I know that's a song from Che, but bro, like
from who?
he's a pretty dope artist. He has a song called like "Fuck Instagram." That's the sample from that hook. Is just from that song, but it's still not. It doesn't. I don't know, bro. Like it just didn't come. It doesn't sound right. It just doesn't.
I actually like that one.
I don't like Pink Panties. I don't like that hook.
I liked it. I like that song. I didn't think I would, but you know what? It caught me slipping. I was like, man, this song ain't
Pink
it.
Panties, huh?
And then it just crept up on me. I was like, you know what?
I bet
Their
it
panties
did.
is pink. Okay, I see you. I see what you got going on. And then I was like, okay, I'm cool with this
I
song.
like the one named Pink Panties, boy.
Even in the beginning, like when he first started rapping, when the album first come on, I'm like, okay. And the beat change, but it just, I think the other thing is too, Baby Keem's voice doesn't sound like he's, I don't know if the word's confident, but it's just like
he hasn't found it
yeah,
yet.
it's not. It doesn't feel like it. Like he's completely there. Like I think that's the main difference I could tell too. When Range Brothers comes on, and then Kendrick, you could tell the difference in the confidence. But that's also an age. Like that's just how I feel about it. So, but it's not a bad project. It's just like I can see the potential. It's just not there yet. And I'm giving him grace because he's 20 years old. Like what do I expect right now? So.
For my ears, it sounded more like a mixtape and less like an album. Y'all just said like this was like another mixtape from him. Like, okay, this is a cool mixtape. But as far as the debut album, I kind of expected like something different. Personally, being as it is his first debut album, he still has time to grow and evolve. So it's not bad. It's just not for me, I say technically.
Personally, I like it. And like I said, I think it's a good debut because I think it's a good talking point. I think that there's a lot of things about this album that you can dissect and you can talk about positively, negatively, and neutral. Like I think one of the neutral things is that he still hasn't found his, like I don't think that he's found his pocket yet. Like he's not comfortable in anything, which is lends to why I feel stylistically it's all over the place. In part with the influences that he has, you know. So it could be way worse. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he has talent, he has a lot of things going for him. I don't think that he's a complete artist just yet, but I like where he's starting. Even and I want to say I said that on the D365 joint that we did. It's like you hear the talent, you hear, oh okay, like there's a lot there. I just don't think he's tapped into all of it just yet.
I'm also probably giving him a disservice because of the high regard I put Kendrick in, and just you being attached to Kendrick. Like a lot of artists suffer from that, like
Expectation level.
And I try to take my view from that. Like, listen, he's not Kendrick. Like, you can't even expect him to be like Kendrick. But it's one of those projects where I'm like, this song could have been better. This song could have been better. But
I'm with you. Ken, did you feel this one more than the joint we did for D365?
I like the one before this one a little bit better, but it's more traditional than this is. There's a lot going on. It felt all over the place. when I first listened to it, but I think a lot of that had to do with my expectations, like going in. Like I thought I was gonna get like rapidy rap shit, and I didn't get that. I got a high dosage of newer age type of rap. I mentioned Playboi Carti and some of these other guys, but I found it really, really interesting the more I listened to it. Because the first time I was like, what the fuck is this shit? I don't know what the hell this shit. Like, this is trash. Like, this need to get, Baby Keem need to damn do something else. But the more I listened to it, I was like, okay, this is actually kind of interesting. Him taking all of these sounds, all of these beat changes, all these different flows and everything that he was doing, creating like this smorgasbord of just sounds and raps and styles and everything. And it's all kind of meshed into one and put out here for display for people to listen to. And I'm like, okay, this is actually interesting in the sense that could something like this catch on? Maybe not necessarily for me, but just objectively, like listening to this, I was like, what could this do? Because it feels like it's so different from what everybody else is doing out there right now in terms of like on his level, sort of the mainstream in between level. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know what's going on here. Like, there are good songs on here that I fuck with, obviously. Range Brothers, Family Ties. I thought Do-Rag Activity, even though I don't really mess with that heavy, I thought that was interesting. I thought the intro, Trademark USA, was interesting.
I like the first half of that.
I fucking hated South Africa. Now it's one of the ones that stick out of my head. And I think part of that is that piano that's in there. Like, there's some really, really interesting sound sonically that he put on here, and the way he uses his voice is also interesting to kind of blend in and out of that. So yeah, man, this is definitely an interesting debut project.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Ken. Yeah, I mean, I really didn't care too much for this per se. I think, and for me, I think it was mainly what he was doing vocally throughout this album. I think kind of it just wasn't hidden. Production wise, I will say he definitely, did a lot of, different stuff, and I like what he was doing as far as with the production he was going over. But yeah, I think this vocally was kind of messing it up for me on a lot of these songs. And it is spots on this album where I'm like, okay, I like what he's doing with this flow on this particular, like on, like on the Range Brothers. I like what he was doing. I like what he was doing with this flow on that one. Scars joint definitely gave me more of like a Kid Cudi feel. I feel like that.
Really?
More so than Kanye for some reason. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the production style kind of gave me like a Kid Cudi feel. Vent, I can definitely hear that being dope as hell live. Like I can hear that being a good live joint. But yeah, I think just for me, and I kept trying to like find something good, but it was just vocally, I just was not feeling. It made it a chore for me to listen to every time I was listening to this album. It was like I was really more intrigued with the beats more so than him per se. So, I mean, and I like he was touching on some personal stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like in Scars, I think Scars was the one he was talking about, like, people that he loved always kind of like leaving him or whatever. I think that was kind of dope.
Issues he was talking about his mom.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's talking about some, some definitely cool stuff. I mean, besides this whole, like, this regular bullshit he talking about, but I like that he was touching on some personal stuff, you know what I'm saying? Lost Souls.
I mean, I like the songs he raps on. This is pretty much what I expect this album to be. I mean, when Trademark USA started, I was like, oh, this song gonna be really mellow. And then when the beat kicked in, he started rapping, I was like, oh, this shit sounds good. Shout out to the dead. I was like, this is really good. I could do without Pink Panties only because I think it sounded good, but the content, I was just like, bro, I'm an old man. I'm not riding around in a Honda Fit with this shit bumping out my window.
do you think it's partly because he is so young?
Yeah. That's the thing. I mean, anything I didn't like, I put it into that bucket of it's because he's a young guy and I'm an old man. The songs themselves, like I said, when he was rapping, I was like, this is actually really cool. But the songs where he was singing, I think like Issues and maybe Gorgeous, I didn't really care for. Family Ties, I really liked. I really liked what he did on Range Brothers. I thought his flow was just fucking dope. I do disagree with y'all in the whole thing about him not really finding his voice. I think he has it. I didn't think he sounded awkward on here. I think that's intentional. Because if you listen to Kendrick on like a very novice hip hop level, you would think he sounds fucking awkward. You'd be like, why is he rapping like that? That's weird. Like, why is he over enunciating words? Kendrick, Aesop Rock, Lupe, like a lot of them do that where they enunciate words weird. And if you're not paying attention, you'd be like, that motherfucker don't know how to rap. But if you do pay attention, you'd be like, oh no, they know how to rap, and they know how to rap very well, and that's why they're doing that. I got that feeling with Keem immediately. I was like, oh, I like how on certain songs, he'll rap a certain way, but then on other songs, he'll rap a different way where he's doing that weird enunciation thing. I think that that's really dope. I do agree also that this album is all over the place, but I think that's to his benefit. I think that's gonna make him appeal to people that like different styles of music. The songs I like on here, I like so much that I would return to just those songs. So I would pull the songs I don't like off of here and jam those like 4 or 5 songs. South Africa I actually really liked. I like that really simplistic beat. I like that piano that runs through and then goes away and then comes back later. I liked all that. But the singy song ones, they do absolutely nothing for me, but I 100% understand why people are like, oh, this is great. The people that are obsessed with stuff like Future and Young Thug, they'll like this. Those weird singy songs. But it's not for me. That's not my demo.
I've been to concerts where Playboi Carti was at, and I don't listen to Playboi Carti either. But when he was on stage, he had the crowd, dog. I don't know what that man was saying in not one of them songs, but everybody in the crowd knew it. I was like, oh, okay. Well, this guy's big. There's a lane for this type of music, and I feel like Baby Keem has tapped into that lane, and like he knows the sound he's going for, and like, he's even trying to other sounds, kind of like you said. So I feel like in a couple years, his music will be much more polished, and it might sound better to me once it's in the state that, like, I guess my ears are more adjusted to, because I can't speak for everybody who says a lot of people do like this. So
I know that I'm giving Baby Keem a disservice because of I've been a fan of Kendrick Lamar since the Kendrick Lamar EP. So like, you see the growth and you see where he is at now to all the way down. It's like I'm doing a disservice because of Kendrick. So I'm trying my best to take those lenses off.
It's hard.
But it's hard to because you're attached next to Kendrick. Yeah. Then I hear Kendrick on Range Brothers. Even the top of the morning, how people gave Kendrick hell for that. Like, I feel like that was intentional.
They gave him hell for that?
Yeah, they were clowning Kendrick on
Really?
Twitter at first.
You see, that's that shit. That's motherfuckers that really don't pay attention.
Exactly. But I'm saying that's intentional. So
right.
It's not that he even was a slouch with Kendrick on either one of those songs. He's not. But it's just like there's a different type of polish and intentionality in the music. And I don't think Baby Keem is to that level. And it's because the album's all over the place. It's not. I don't know. I know for me, it's just not on that level. And maybe if I listen to it and take that lens off completely and act like he's just another artist, I could probably see where you're coming from. Because there's some things some songs that just don't do it for me.
I think that's why I see the dopeness in this, because I see that Kendrick does awkward shit. Like on his verse, the top of the morning, let's get this shit. It's not something a regular rapper would do.
No.
At all. Or when he's doing the brother, brother. That's not a thing a regular rapper would do. This Baby Keem dude clearly is cut from that same cloth. So when I listen to it, I'm like, oh, that might sound weird if a different rapper did it, but the way he's doing it, I can tell he's doing it on purpose. I think he's found his pocket. I think it's just a pocket that some people might just have to get used to or get accustomed to. It just really sounds like young people kind of party music, but at the same time, I feel like this dude has so much creativity that he's like, I'm not gonna just do this one thing. Cause like on some songs that I'm listening to, I'm like, man, this motherfucker just sounds like he's just saying shit to just say shit. Like the lyrics just don't even make any sense. But then there's other songs where I'm like, God damn, this motherfucker's rapping. So I think that he's doing this intentionally. Like on this song, he's just like, I just want to play around real quick. But on this song, I want to rap. On this song, I might want to sing.
See, and because of that, that's why I personally feel like, that's why I said I don't think he's found his pocket, because it is all over the place. And I feel that like when you listen to a Kendrick or people that are a little bit weirder, they do that, but the project feels intentional throughout, and this doesn't. It feels like he's playing around a little bit. And I think that lends to it being 20. And that's why, like, I get it. Like, you're a kid. At 20, you're a fucking kid.
This feels very intentional.
Huh?
This feels very intentional.
So, like, the playful songs feel intentional to you?
Everything's doing.
That's what I was gonna ask you. When you think of someone like Drake, right? What I would say about this guy is like Drake in Bizarro Land, right? Like when you listen to a Drake album, you're at least not the most recent one, but like one of his more highly acclaimed ones. You're gonna get a lot of rapping. You're also gonna get his weird singing thing. You're gonna get him trying to make like an R&B song. He might do a couple pop joints, right? But when people listen to that, they don't say, "Well, damn, I don't think Drake has figured it out. This is
With Drake's debut album, right? Like he has you fancy,
Care.
huh? Take Care, right? Like he has you fancy.
They
Right.
use Thank Me Later. But
Thank Me
Care
Later.
is a
Damn,
song.
you're right.
Yeah, you know, and I'm using your analogy of Drake.
That's
yeah,
what I
yeah,
hear.
yeah.
So like even when he makes like certain R&B tracks and stuff like that, even though obviously it's different from the hip hop that's on there, it feels in the same vein of shit.
Because you're used to Drake doing that. I think when you look at it with Drake, you're just like, well, this is Drake. But since he's so new, and I know he had a project before this that y'all reviewed, and I don't know what it sounded like because I didn't hear it.
It was different than
It
this.
was more
Yeah.
rappy rap.
Yeah.
See, so I'm walking in fresh, right? The only thing I've heard was the Family Tie song that we did the review on, and whatever the hell Low Mid played for us. So when I walked into this, I'm like, okay, this is about what I expected. So to me, this is just Baby Keem. The awkwardness sounded creative. And again, I hate to keep bringing these people up, but when you listen to someone like a Kendrick or even A$AP Rock, I remember when A$AP got really big, people were like, I don't fucking get it. It sounds like he can't even rap to the mic properly. But now, years later, people are like, this motherfucker's a genius, the way he's rapping. When I look at this, I'm like, man, this motherfucker is definitely gonna be something, even without the Kendrick shit. Because when we listened to it, we didn't know he was Kendrick's cousin until after we were like, yeah, this is dope. I feel like this guy is all over the place because that's what's marketable now. I feel like being a one-dimensional artist,
It doesn't sell.
it's not marketable right now. Like, think about it. Like, this dude can appeal to so many different crowds. Like, the backpack nerd in me is just like, yo, I like what he does on what is it,
Range Brothers. Range Brothers.
Range Brothers.
Yeah.
I like what he's doing on there because his flow.
Him and Kendrick going back
is
and forth.
crazy. Yeah. Even like the first verse before Kendrick comes in.
Oh yeah, yeah.
his
He was
flow
going.
Nasty.
Yeah, he was
His
going.
flow was nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then when you pick up something like one of the other songs, like Scars or whatever, I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is not.
But it's
my
gonna
type of
appeal.
shit.
It's gonna appeal this.
Somebody's gonna like it.
Someone half my
Yeah.
age or a quarter of my age, and like, this Baby Keem is great. He's playing a smart game.
Yeah,
But
I
when I
agree.
say not finding his pocket, I get what you mean because I didn't listen to their album, so I get why you're saying that. But as someone that's fresh, it just sounds to me like this dude is just really fucking creative.
Like even to the Drake point, 16 sounds like a beat that Drake would pick. I think that's the last
That was some
track,
80s
right?
shit. That reminded me some 80s, like that was the 80s vibe, Miami Vice type of vibe. That
Yeah.
beat on some 80s shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it that much different than Kenny Mason? Like on certain songs, Kenny Mason
Okay.
raps his ass off. In certain songs, he sings, and in certain songs, he'll bust out with some fucking weird like.
Yeah.
100%.
rock
That,
shit.
that's a better comparison. When I listen to Angelic Hood rap versus this, right? One of the things that I always say about Kenny Mason is that he doesn't necessarily overdo. And I'm not saying Baby Keem overdoes,
Sure.
but I think that's one of the geniuses of Kenny Mason, right? Like especially that one track that's like the hood rap rock song that's right after Mucho.
I know what you're talking about,
Yeah, like that one. Like to me, that's so amazing because he didn't overdo it. With this, like, and I understand that Kenny colors outside the lines and Baby Keem does too. I don't feel or get the weird creativeness just yet as much as I do Kenny.
I got more of an awkward feel from Kenny than I did this.
Really?
Not in a bad way.
Yeah, no,
It was
I
just like,
understand.
Where the fuck did that come
Yeah.
from? Wait, why are you now doing this? That made me like it more. I was like, damn, this is interesting, this Kenny Mason guy.
And you know what's interesting, right? Like I feel like Angelic Hood rap flows, even though he's all over the place too. Like this, that album flows more together to me than this one does.
Wow, see, I disagree. That's funny. I never really got this felt disjointed feel from this. Did you feel disjointed a little
Yeah,
bit?
a little bit.
Okay.
To your point, I think the main thing is when I get albums, I expect more of like polished and like cohesiveness. And like you said, because it's not exactly the same, same isn't even the correct word I'm looking for.
Do you get
It's just-
polished from Damn? Or like, I don't get polished from his music, except for To Pimp a Butterfly. I don't get a polished feel from Good Kid, Mad City.
No, I don't get polished either from Good
But
Kid,
that's what
Mad
I'm saying.
City.
That's why I think all of this shit is very intentional. He's cut from that same Kendrick cloth where it's like, I don't want to do shit the way the standard rappers do. And the fact this guy's, what, 19, 20?
Yeah.
And he's already got that mindset? Bro, I don't
But
got shit to say. I'm
It's
like,
not.
bro, do it.
It's not even, and that's what I'm saying. It's more of a me than it is
I
a Baby
feel- yeah,
Keem.
yeah. Yeah,
Because
sure.
of I was able to grow with Kendrick, so like
Sure.
me being there, you know what I'm saying, growing up and having Kendrick being like the rapper to me
Sure.
is different. So I DJ and I'm realizing now I'm disconnected with what's new. Like I'm seeing that age, and I'm only 27, bro. I'm only 27, so I'm beginning to see it though. Like I don't get why this is hot, but if it works, it works. So even with Baby Keem, I know I'm doing him a disservice in that way, somewhat, in a little bit. All this critique is not about. I can see the potential,
Sure.
and I'm still gonna be excited for the next one. It's just this wasn't completely what I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that about Kendrick because to this day, people will still say they don't like when you do that alien voice.
Yeah, and I love it. I think it's fucking. That's what to me hip hop just breeds in people. It's like, why don't you do something creative? Do something that nobody else has done.
Stand out. Don't
Stand
fit
out
in
a little bit, and that's what Kendrick has made people comfortable doing now. Shit that back in the day would get you clowned. You couldn't do top of the morning. You couldn't do that shit.
Let's get
boy.
this shit. Let's get this shit.
No. People would be like, what the fuck is this shit? Mainstream rap fans and indie rap be like, "Bruh, what? But Kendrick is making that line where it's just like, okay.
When I was listening to this, I was thinking about like, oh man, my first listen, I was like, oh man, I really wanted the rapid rap shit. But then I was also thinking about, well, growing up, like, we wanted rappers to do stuff that's different. Like, you're not supposed to come out and make shit similar to what everybody else is doing. This guy coming out and, just doing what he wants to do and going outside of the purview of what other rappers are doing, I think is, like I said, the more I listened to it, I was like, wait a minute, this is actually interesting for him to come out and take this huge of a risk being attached to Kendrick Lamar, because people will, like Jalen, is openly admitting, like, have certain expectations and walk away like, man, what the fuck is this shit? But then we have Q, shout out to Q, this is man, was like, yo, this is like 8 out of 10. He fucking loved this shit. But he said that before I listened to it. When I listen to it, I'm like,
Yep.
Where he's still sort of
young but
Yeah.
getting old.
Getting old.
yep.
He's young, getting old.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm on that line, but I've just always been an old soul, so that's my problem right now.
See, doing this show for this long has got me to the point where I can look at something and be like, okay, I don't like it, but it's not bad. Like, I could hear someone else doing this shit and be like, God, this is fucking terrible. But I listen to this and I'm like, I see the creativity. I think it's cool. It's not for me in any way, shape, or form.
Basically, that's the same boat I'm in. Like, cause I'm not old, but I'm not really with a lot of new wave music either. So it's like I can tell that there is something here, something catchy, and something that's gonna work for him. I just know that the way my ears are set up, it's just not for me. But I know that this album is getting respected, and I think that's good. I mean, I know other people I went to school with. They're like, yo, this album is good. This album is great, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. So clearly, it's doing what it's supposed to do.
What are your favorite tracks?
I already told you, Pink Panties is a banger.
Pink Panties.
I'm sorry, Pink Panties is a banger.
He from Florida,
Doing
bro.
like the Kendrick shit. Top of the morning, bro.
I like the first half of Trademark USA, Range Brothers, and I kind of like Lost Souls too. Lost Souls didn't bother me, and then I'm gonna say the last 4 tracks were cool.
Wait, hold on now. We gonna do about 5 now.
I mean, I'm gonna count them all as one because to my ears.
Hey, that was way more than me though.
Look at talk.
That's way more than me. Hey, I'm in Rod's seat today though.
Scapegoats, because that sample from Surfing with Feet. God damn, bro, I love that
That's
shit.
what that was.
Shit, boy. Surfing, when I heard,
I
I thought
just
Surfing
came
with
across
Feet was
him,
just-
thanks to B.
I was like, boy.
Yo, B sent me this Nio album, and he was on there, and I was like, oh, he sounds like Sean Stockton from Boyz II Men, and that's how I know that because it's a weird name. I didn't know that was him.
That's the
Damn.
only
That's
reason
the
I went to Afropunk. That was the only reason I went was to see him.
Wow.
Range Brothers, obviously. That's 2. Lost Souls, Family Ties, and give me Vent.
Give me Trademark USA, Range Brothers, Family Ties, Do-Rag Activity, man. I'm gonna throw in a little Travis Scott track on here. And South Africa.
Trademark USA. Give me Range Brothers. Give me Family Ties. Give me Boo Man.
Give me Family Ties, Range Brothers, Vent, and Boo Man.
Trademark, Range Brothers, South Africa, and Family Ties.
LaBath, if you watching.
Oh, if you're watching, I guess keep doing what you're doing, dog. Like, obviously, you found a lane that's working for you. Work on your sound. At this rate, find new sounds. Is work. I mean, people seem to like it. If you listening, man, you ain't don't want to listen to me personally, but somebody else might have some great advice for you.
He just said work on everything.
Work on you. Do something.
Do something better. Shit.
If you watching Baby Keem, like I've said in the review, I will personally admit I may be doing a disservice because of the attachment to Kendrick and me being a fan of Kendrick. But man, like the potential is there. I definitely see the potential. I definitely see the star you're becoming. And like the more I sit with it, the more it's growing on me. So you just keep doing what you're doing, man. And I'm still excited to see what's next.
Baby Keem, if you watching, I enjoyed this. I think it's a good debut. It's a bit eclectic and all over the place, but I could put my objective hat on and understand, the creativity and where you're trying to go. So I fuck with that. And you're very young, and to be as young as you are, there's not as many people that have the skill set you have. So that's obviously only going to increase with the more experience, the more pen time you get in. Obviously, hanging out with your cousin even more now that you are a part of his label. I see how you're gonna ascend. So I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? I think that you're on your way, bro.
Baby Keem, if you're watching, I mean, yeah, young, you pretty young. I definitely hear like some potential. This is raw. I mean, it's your debut album, so hopefully, in the future you might make something that I would like. I just didn't really care for this that much, like I said, vocally, but production wise, you had definitely a good ear for beats. So yeah.
Baby Keem, if you're watching, man, yeah, man, I love what you're doing here. Even though it was extremely off-putting at first, based on expectations I had from your previous projects, your previous albums, and I even had to go back and re-listen to make sure that I wasn't crazy. And I heard some elements of what you're doing here on those albums. So I was like, okay, you're just kind of expanding it a little bit and modernizing it, I should say. And the more I listened to it, the more open I became to the idea of doing something different and interesting in the mainstream space. For that, I'm very appreciative. I remember when we were Feefo and I did the dive for my bitch. I was like, yo, I think he got next, and I think this kind of helps reaffirm that you're creative and talented enough and artistic enough to get out here and do something like this and still make it palatable for a lot of people on both levels with certain types of songs. So yeah, I think the future that you have is going to be interesting to watch from afar.
Baby Keem, if you're watching, keep doing exactly what it is that you're doing. I think that you are on a dope path. I love the creativity. Please don't take me saying that some of the music is not for me as any sort of negative. It's just I'm old, and I'm sure you know that. You're not making music for fucking old dudes that are just a hair away from a walker. You're not making shit for me. You're making stuff for people that are young, that still got all their hair just flowing and shit. That's not me anymore, man. It hurts when I get up in the morning, and it hurts when I lay down, and shit, it hurts when I'm walking around. I can't be jumping around in pink panties, The girls I date have like white bloomers. You know what I'm saying? But no, for real, man. This is really cool. I love seeing creative music coming out of the younger kids. And I hope you keep going, man. So congratulations on a really, really interesting debut project.